Well, good Friday. Halloween Friday. This is the best I can do for a costume. I'm not big on Halloween, but that's okay. This is old Mike, old me living better. I'm glad you can join me, those of you that are going to join me for this live chat. I already got a couple of questions I'm going to answer, but remember that for those of you that joined the live chat, either live or you watch it later, and you want to get a couple of my stickers, the kind that I have on my coffee cup, and my business card, I will send those to you for free. All you have to do is send me an email with your mailing address. I promise that I will destroy your address later and your email. I'm not going to use it for anything else. And this is for the United States and Canada. If you live in Canada and the United States, I'm not mailing abroad right now, but for Canadian and U.S. people living in those countries with a postal address, I'll be happy to send you free a couple of my stickers. My email address is meoliving@gmail.com. You can find that. I'll leave it in the description, but you can also find it on my channel. In my channel description, it's there also. So anyway, hi Debbie, good to see you here. You told me that you were going to be here. Mike was here a little while ago. I think he took off to go somewhere else. Hey Keith from the UK, nice to see you here, buddy. I had a question from Rhodey. I don't know if he's still in the chat or not or watching. He came in originally before the chat started, and I'm pretty sure I know who Rhodey is. He's an animator. He has a great channel with animations that are really great, but he gets some grief, I guess, from different people for different reasons. He had a question. He said, "Why do so many gurus sound negative instead of just giving good advice? Never seen a text channel say you are wrong if you don't plug in first." Yeah. Hey, Rudy. Thank you. You're still here. Well, it's kind of like a battery. The battery of my car has got a positive terminal and a negative terminal. So if things were always positive and never negative, I would not get the overall power that comes from having both of those polar opposites. I think that positive content is really important, and I try to do that a lot, but also uh, negative content or critical content comments are also important because they factor into the overall equation of things. So I don't know. I watch a lot of gurus. Some of them tend to be more negative than others. I don't know. It is what it is. I'm sorry that you receive grief from that, though. That's not good. Wonderful world, wonderful weird world. How you doing, Carla? Nice to see you here. Donna, nice to see you here from Oklahoma. Um, I've got a couple of things I wanted to talk about at the very beginning before I get questions, and the title I titled this snowmobile in the desert. I got that concept from Simon Sinek in his book Leaders Eat Last. A couple of books I'm reading right now. I'm reading Generations, which is a fascinating book. And but Leaders Eat Last. It does have connection to YouTube because it's thinking in terms of leaders in an organization and thinking about their employees and associates and all. And I think on YouTube, I have to think in terms of my viewers. What taking his metaphor that if you're a snowmobile, but you're in the desert, it's not going to work very well. It works best in snow. The analogy is, I think that the desert is analogous to the platform that you're on. Facebook is different, Twitter is different, Instagram is different, YouTube is different. All of these platforms have some different kinds of the ways that you approach them. So if you use what you use on YouTube and try to convert it over to Twitter or vice versa, it's probably not going to work all that well. That's why I believe, like Kevin Colby does and a few others, that it's best to stay on one platform. I'm pretty much on YouTube. I do have a Facebook channel, Facebook page, but it's related to another thing that I do, not related to this channel and this kind of content, and I don't mix the two. So there's a lot of people that want to be on a lot of different platforms. You can do shorts and all that kind of stuff. That makes sense for some people. It doesn't for me. I like my snowmobile in the snow. So I have enough trouble figuring out YouTube. It can be like a desert sometimes, and I don't want to be a snowmobile in the desert. So that's the only point that I think that Cynic is making there. And for me personally, it's a reminder that he makes the point you can work on the snowmobile to make it run better and keep it tuned up. But if you're in the desert, not in the snow, it doesn't do any good. So a lot of times I can spend all kinds of effort in getting my presentation together. But if I'm presenting in the wrong place, in other words, I'm creating content for YouTube and then I try to do it for Facebook or Twitter, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I don't know. That's what I wanted to start with. Okay, got a lot of people joined in the chat today. Evie's retired. Becky, hi, Becky. Appreciate how you're never stop learning. I'm in the business book club with consignment chats. It has changed my business. Yeah, that's great. The other thing I wanted to talk about was a question. I've been gathering questions. I only do live streams once a month. So I got this question from Rosemary. She said, I worry a bit about not having a specific niche, but I would like to be my niche. That makes sense. And I talk about that a lot. Do you think I should be more specific about my content for the algorithm to pick me up? I've gotten more comments lately. As a matter of fact, they found a new creator today. I really appreciate it. She started a whole separate channel just last month. She's got two successful YouTube channels, but like most of us on YouTube, since August, we've experienced a downturn in views, impressions. The algorithm seems like it turned against us all in August, and it's really been frustrating for a lot of people. And so she started a whole channel talking about that. It's pretty interesting. I'll leave a link to her in the description when I can after this is processed and uploaded. But the problems with trying to find it, sometimes, I've thought about this a lot because I did my video on being a polymath. If you have a lot of different interests and passions, then it's really hard to narrow down what your niche may be. So the other way to look at it is you get a general idea of what you want to do. You get on YouTube and then you let your niche find you. Now, I don't want to be codependent on the algorithm. I use that codependent on purpose. It's one thing to be dependent on the logarithm. Codependent is that I put more emphasis. I overthink the logarithm. It drives me nuts, and I'm trying to find the hacks for it and all. Forget it. The logarithm is a mystery. I love what Mike Rowe says. He's the guy with the author. I can't think of the program that he does, but he's got a tremendous quote. I think I wrote it down here if I can find it. His quote is, "Don't follow your passion, but bring your passion with you." That's his quote. Don't follow your passion, bring your passion with you. Sometimes I think the point that he was trying to make, and that was in the book, Russell and KD in the book, Godly Ambition. Great book if you're a Christian, and even if you're not a Christian, great principles in this book. But he quotes Mike Rowe to make the point that passion isn't always the best thing to follow. you want to consider a lot of different factors when you make decisions. Passion is important, but sometimes leading with passion isn't always the best way to go. You lead with your skills, with your experience, with your interests, a lot of different things. But don't leave your passion behind. That was his other point. I think that's really important. I see a lot of YouTube creators that are uh, got pretty good content, but it's like they left their passion at home. They figured out the niche they wanted to be in, but you can tell they're not that passionate about it. I don't know. Okay, a reminder. I got a lot more people here now. If you're joining the chat and you want 2 of my stickers for free, they're the ones you see on my coffee cup all the time, and one of my business cards, I'll send them to you for free. You just got to email me. Your mailing address is for those of you that live in the United States and Canada, and I'll be happy to send them to you. I'll leave my email address in the description. It's meoliving@gmail.com. You can find it in my channel description also. Well, let's see. We got all kinds of people in here, which is kind of nice. Simply Debbie Sue. I love Debbie. I'm going to try to do a collaboration with her here in the future, because I've got this idea to do a video. I got the idea from Munis. He had a similar title, The Grandpa Method, but a lot of gurus, when they're giving shout outs to people, they're looking at the people that have got over 1 million views, but there's hundreds and hundreds of people that are in the 4th quarter of their life doing YouTube channels and doing them really well. And I want to collaborate with a couple of those, and I want to talk about the grandpa method of YouTube. I'll give you a quick insight to one of the points. I haven't got all the points together yet. I'm still working on. One of them is you can be quirky. Yeah. I remember growing up, and Grandpa was over in the corner. He would fall asleep, pass gas, wake up, talk about things that nobody else was thinking. He was quirky. That was Grandpa. That was the Grandpa I grew up with. Grandma was not as quirky, but she was also quirky too. The nice thing about when you get to be my age, 80, 81, you can get away with a lot of things, and people say, he's an old guy, that's how it goes. But growing older has its advantage, because people aren't quite as harsh on you. They're a little more forgiving, because they figure you're senile anyway. So, what the heck, But we're not. We have so much to offer. It's really, really exciting. In reading the book Generations right now, fascinating book. And how that I'm from the silent generation. I'm a little too old for the baby boomer generation, but I don't like being called a silent generation. Come on, give me a break. I'm anything but silent, right? But nice to see Debbie in here. I hope to get that collaboration and get that up fairly soon. Well, let's see. Totally in love. Question. Just joined, but it's a dark screen. Is everybody else seeing a dark screen? Let me know in the chat, because my screen looks like it's okay here. And I think other people would have said that I have a dark screen if I did, but I don't see it. So I don't know. Don't know. Looking good. Thank you. Okay. Everybody can see me. I don't know why you got a dark screen. It's got to be probably on your end then. Isn't that the famous tech answer to everything? It's not our problem. It's on your end. So I wanted to talk about, and this goes back to my friend, where'd he go? My friend Rody. I have been harsh on faceless channels, and not so much on animated channels. There's some great animated channels, I think, that are worthwhile watching. They're fun. The faceless AI generated channel, so that's different than an animated channel. Rody is he's a he's a professional at what he does. He's a professional animator. So that's different than somebody that plugs into AI and does something. So I have a dear friend who's an RN, and she and I were talking the other day because of the way that, and you, if you've seen my video on becoming a full-time caregiver at 80 years old, I'm pretty harsh on the medical industrial complex. And this affects everybody, no matter how old you are. And I make the point there, when I grew up, the doctor came to my house for a house visit. You don't get that anymore, unless it's Doc Martin in England or something, maybe. But my point is that technology is dehumanizing. Technology is dehumanizing. So my friend who is in the RN was talking about it in the old days. The one who scheduled and for all of the staff at the hospital, everybody knew that person's name, and they knew everybody by their first name and their family. But now they have an automated system that I'm sure the hospital paid a lot of money for, and it's supposed to make everything more efficient than this one person was with 20 years experience, and everybody loved them. Now everybody hates the system. Why? Because the system is impersonal. The system has all the steps you go through. The system is supposed to be more efficient. So here's the dehumanization, and I've experienced it myself. Software that replaces people. It's like we're in a vending machine mentality. You used to go into a restaurant, sit down, the waitress comes up and you order your food. Well, you can get a lot of things, through machines now. In certain restaurants, fast food restaurant, you can go in and it's almost like driving through, because you push a screen to get your order, and you never see anybody. So you see a lot of promotion for YouTube automation. I see this on a couple of school channels school groups that I'm in. It's spam, in my opinion. So they want you to buy their services so you can crank out YouTube videos using YouTube automation system or platform and make a lot of money. And you can. Most of it is going to be AI generated, faceless kinds of videos. And if you're only in it for the money, that's great. That's okay. I'm not going to make a big fuss over that. But I don't like the dehumanization of the way much of YouTube and social media in general is going. Even my Chat GTP. I love Chat GTP. It knows more about me than probably even my doctor or my wife now. I'm having to help me write a book. By the way, here's a tip if you want it. So I've been wanting to write a book. My goals for 2026 are to finish my book, my website. I do have a website up, and you can use these kinds of things as support for what you do. Well, so I've ghostwritten books before in the past, and I said, well, I can write my own book. And then I got thinking about all my content. So here's what I did. I went into my channel and I grabbed the script of every single video I had ever done on my channel. Not a lot of them, I think 60 or 70. I took all of the script of all of that and I dropped that into Chat GTP with a rather long prompt that I wanted to write a book for people in the fourth quarter of their life and how to get started on YouTube. Da, 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 da. Well, man, that puppy cranked out, an outline, chapter outline. And then we started working through the chapters. So I did all that in a couple of hours, and I've been sitting down for the last month reading each chapter and adding some of my own content to it. But you can take all the content from your channel, drop it into the AI program and say, write me a newsletter, write me an article, write me a book based on all of my content. Now, if Chat GPT comes back and says your content stinks, I can't write a book, well, that's another thing, right? But, AI and Chat GTP, for me, it drives me bonkers sometimes because it ends every message, not every message, but when I'm done with the session with it, here, you know how it ends it? You're really doing great, old Mike. Just remember, if you ain't dead, you ain't done. Yeah, well, that's like something one of my friends would say to me. So the AI program is trying to emulate the human side of interaction. And I have to remember it's not my best friend. It's not even a friend. It's a computer program. It's a system, right? It's a great system and I love it. But the overall dehumanization of humanity, and this is where I think those of us that have talking head videos, especially talking head channels, Mike, who's got this great, his channel is great. He walks around, I think, Philadelphia, and does a history, tremendous history of the area there, talking about bridges and stuff. You see, he's combining his love for history, but he's on the camera. He's a real person. He's not a robot doing it. So anyway, that's my rant for today. You know, Rody was talking about don't be negative, but it's hard sometimes. I don't know. So I'm not paying any attention to the chat over here. I better go over and take a look and see what's going on. You guys seem to be pretty good talking amongst yourselves. I love it. Oh my word. Let's see. Mike in retirement. Hey, nice to see you here, buddy. Let's see. Cash budget retire. Boy, what a great channel you have. I love your channel. My word. You've got some of the greatest ideas and tips. Thank you. I think you gave me a shout out on my channel, for my channel a couple of times. That was really nice of you. Chandler's retirement. Hey, look at who it is. Oh my word, Richard. Good to see you, buddy. I didn't know you did. Yeah, you've done some live streams. That's for sure. Um, let's see. I wonder if it could work the other way around. Enter a book into AI and ask for multiple 10-minute videos. Yeah, as a matter of fact, when I was working through, I've got a 13 chapter book that's going to run about 250 pages or so. I intend to put it out on Amazon KDP, whatever they call that. But uh, Chat GTP can only do so much. As I had a professional person who's an editor take a look at what AI had done, and they said it was very impressive. But the problem is, there's a lot of stuff that isn't there because I didn't prompt it. It's still in my head, so I've got to go back and add and rewrite to it all. But you can take a bunch of content, drop it into AI, and have it come up with alternative videos. You can repurpose a video. You can take a couple of videos that you've done, drop the script into an AI program and say, give me a couple of more takes on that. Can you give me some more ideas for additional content? How can I make this better? Like that. That's where AI is really great because it seems to be able to, from the analyzing part of the program, it analyzes things rather well. It doesn't always come up with the best conclusions, but it analyzes it well, and you can use that, I think, to you know to create more content from. Let's see. Totally in love again. I enjoy talking about Special Olympics. RJ Sandoffer official. I'm not sure. I've got to go. I'll go take a look at your. I think I recognize the logo there. I think I've been to the. I have a special needs relative who has done quite well, and I love special needs emphasis and channels and the things that you guys do. I think that is so important. Somebody asked me recently about ideation, and I wanted to take a minute or two to talk about that. I think all of you. I'm sorry. I'm digging out my trusty voice recorder. There's a lot of ways you can do ideation, writing things down in a journal, dictating stuff, but just accumulating the information isn't uh, where I actually get my juice when I'm doing planning out a video. So as soon as I get a video idea, so I may have only one or two lines of an idea for a video. You know what I do the next thing? I start working on a thumbnail and title before I even work on the content of the video. Because if I cannot come up with a decent power pack, curiosity producing thumbnail and title, I can have the best content in the world, but it's like writing a book, but the book doesn't have a cover and there's no shelf to ever put it on, no place to advertise it. So one of the things that I do is before I fully write out a script, or before I fully in the beginning I did it just the opposite. The thumbnail and the title were a secondary thought, but I have discovered that by thinking in terms of thumbnail and title at the very beginning, even before I write a script or I write an outline, what it does, it forces me to think in terms of what the viewer is going to see the first thing before they pick the book off the shelf, before they read the article, before they hit, click on that thumbnail and then read the title. So, and then I've experienced that by going through that process of thinking through what the thumbnail and title is before I even get very deep into the script, that I discovered that helps me write the script or write the outline and get the content together. So I got the idea for the grandpa method for YouTube, and that was the idea. And I started working on the thumbnail first, and then working on the title before I started working on the different points of why the graying of YouTube is a real movement. And the number of people, the number of people that are on YouTube that are in the fourth quarter of their life. One of the problems, not a problem, but those of us in my age category look at life differently, because the way the Gen Z looks at life differently because of the environment that they grew up in. Those of us that are 80, we grew up in a different environment. It doesn't mean that we ignore the other generations, but it is that we understand that they're coming from a different perspective. And I think those of us in the fourth quarter of our lives, we have a lot to offer, not only to others that are in the fourth quarter of their life, but also to the generations that are behind us. So anyway, in terms of ideation, I think that early on, it's really great to think in terms of your thumbnail and your title uh, as soon as you have a topic idea. I think it's really great. It's kind of like analogous to going to lunch. So, do I go to lunch to get something from the person that I'm going to lunch with? Or do I go there thinking I'm going to give them something? Usually, when I go to lunch, there's an exchange. One of my best friends, we sit down, and there are things that he gives me and things that I'm able to give him in the conversation. I think when I approach YouTube, my YouTube channel, I've always got to be thinking not so much what I want to dump on somebody else. In other words, if and my best friend is good at this. If we get there and I start yakking on, so he said, "Did you come with an agenda today?" And yeah, I did. I had an agenda. I wanted to fix him or something. So it isn't that we want to fix the people that watch or listen to our YouTube videos, that we want to solve a problem for them. We want to encourage them, inspire them. So I have to think in terms of not so much what I need out of the relationship. I need to think in terms of what my viewer needs. I think that's really important. Okay, let me go back over here and take a look. I enjoy talking. Yeah, I read that one already. Did I lose track of this? Okay, we're doing good. Just a reminder, if you want a free sticker to go on a coffee cup or somewhere else, I have a friend. One of my subscribers works for a um, network broadcasting company, and so I won't tell you which one. I don't want to reveal who he might be, but he sent me a photo with at a particular event, and there's the broadcast logo, and right next to it, he had stuck one of my stickers next to it. Unbelievable. Anyway, I'll send you a business card and a couple of my stickers. This is for US and Canada. Send me your mailing address to my email address, which is meoliving at gmail.com. You can find that probably in the video description and also in my channel description. I got a couple of people bailing. I think Mike had to go to his kids' Halloween thing. So let's see. Hey, Mike, I have an airsoft channel, but here lately I've been implementing videos about my YouTube growth on my channel. Will that confuse the algorithm? Oh man, you know the algorithm drives me nuts, and I've given up figuring it out. Right now, it appears that the algorithm has not been favoring YouTube channel. A lot of channels are reporting since August, a real downturn in our viewership, our subscribers, all of those kinds of things. I think, yeah, the algorithm can get confused, but I think the idea, if you want to drop in how-to content on a channel that normally hasn't been that, but people probably may wonder about that. I don't see, I don't want to be beholden to the algorithm. Let me put it that way. I don't want to be a slave to the algorithm. I don't want to sit down and think, oh man, if I put this video up here, the algorithm's going to destroy my channel. Well, let it destroy my channel then. Of course, I'm from a different perspective because I'm only doing this part time. I don't need the money, even though I'm monetized and making money on YouTube. I just do not want to play the algorithm game and have that interfere with something that I feel my viewers may appreciate, my viewers may like. You get into some of the gurus say, well, follow the trends, look at what's going on in your particular niche, and follow that trend. Don't replicate it exactly, but create a video similar. That's the way to grow your channel. I've grown my channel to 33,000 subscribers and never did any of that. I've never looked at my competition, not once. Even though I've got vidIQ, I don't use it for that. I don't use it to analyze my channel. I don't use it to look for trends. I want to be a trend. You're a trend. You're the trend. Be your own trend. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little a little hyped up, aren't I? No, I like the idea. You set your own trend, Again, it's different if you're somebody that is into this full time. You need to make a business out of it. You need to replace an income or start a full time income. You're going to approach YouTube a little differently than I do. Somebody in the fourth quarter of their life who's doing it part time isn't interested in the finances. If you are interested in the finances, then you need to follow somebody like Alexis Saranoia or Ty Myers, Think Media. All of those are reliable people to follow and look at their videos. Especially Alexa, who got fired, and she's killing it in terms of in a year replaced her income and doing well. But she's 40, young, got a lot of energy. I'm 81. I'm old and don't have a lot of energy. So I don't want to do that. I enjoy what I'm doing, but, I think it's so important to stay in your own lane. Let me come back to that a logarithm question, because that I started the live talking about that. Do you think I should be more specific about the content for the logarithm to pick me up? This is from Rosemary. A lady left me a message. Here's the deal. I think that when it comes to the logarithm, I would rather think of it in terms of staying in my own lane. What's my own lane? My own lane is reaching out to people in the fourth quarter of their life, 70 to 90 and above. Now, a lot of you aren't that old. You're coming along for the ride, so to speak. But that's in the back of my mind. So I can cover a lot of different topics with an age specific avatar in my mind. An avatar is somebody that your ideal YouTube user. The problem is that we often think topic specific for channels. Now, if you're going to do a gardening channel, stick to gardening. If you're going to do specific kinds of topics, yeah, stick to those topics. You don't want to go too far afield. But I think any YouTube creator can create how you're doing on YouTube, no matter what your topic is. Diane's Garden, I love her channel. She could do one on how she does her YouTube channel in gardening. So there's just a lot of ways to do it. But staying in your own lane for me is more important than trying to figure out the logarithm. Mike, has anyone ever told you that you would make a great Santa? Cash budget return? Yeah, as a matter of fact, yeah, at Christmas time, I have actually hired out one time as a Santa. It was pretty lucrative, actually. You show up at parties and you be Santa. But it just didn't feel right for me. But I do start from here on out. I'll get stopped in grocery stores and different places, usually by kids. Are you Santa? Do you know Santa? I usually tell them, yeah, I'm his brother. Do you want me to? I'll pass on a message for you. But yeah, my wife even got me to wear a Santa hat one year to the grocery store. That was way outside of my lane and very embarrassing, I got to tell you. Oh, man. Let's see. Yes, you are the trend. I love that. Thank you. From AI art to assets. I got to go look at your channel. I'll do that later. I don't remember if I've looked at your channel or not. Hello from Oregon. Nice to see you here. All for Jesus carnivore. Yeah, I tried the carnivore diet. I kind of go back and forth between keto and carnivore, and but I won't get into that. I get in all kinds of trouble. Oh my word. Oh boy. Let's see. Well, you guys are really doing good. I think that you gotta check my notes, see if I had anything else that I was going to share. I think I've covered everything that I was going to share. I always get in trouble if I go beyond sharing what I was going to share. Then I just ramble on. I try to get people not to ramble, but sometimes that's just unavoidable. So let me go back, see if I missed any questions. Here's one from, let me see here. I answered that one already. So just a reminder, want the stickers, send me your mailing address to meoliving@gmail.com. Let me see, how long have I been going here? 39 minutes. I usually go half hour to an hour. Don't want to do overkill. So, I'm getting tired. That's the problem with getting old. You get tired. That's why I take naps. Do you guys take a nap? Of course, I've been taking naps since I was in college. I learned the power nap. I think I got it from Stephen Covey. I can't remember. It was some early guru for time management. Power nap is you don't go to sleep. Maybe you lay down on the floor, stick your legs up on the chair. He used to have pictures of him in his office, and he'd lock his door, tell everybody to stay out, don't call, don't knock on the door. And he'd lay down for like, I think 20 minutes, get the blood flow back into your brain. And, that's a big help. I've been doing that for the last 50 years or so, and it does help me get a energy boost. And I think it does make sense. Yeah. Love to take naps. Okay. You guys were great. I'll see you next time. Remember, I only do one live stream a month. I'll try to capture your questions and put them into the live stream, but I'm going to bail out of here. And hey, thanks, Debbie, for hanging around. I love you guys. Bye.